All I ever wanted is simple and can boil down to this. I wanted my passion to provide. In other words, I wanted to find what I enjoyed doing and seeing if I had some talent there and keep pursuing it and trying to get better and better to see if it's something that I could offer to other people. And then in return, do what I love and get paid to do it. So then I didn't have to go to some job that I don't like. I don't have to clock in and punch a clock and just survive. I knew that there had to be something more. And so guess what? I moved to Africa. Growing up, I was always making home videos in the backyard. In fact, I made episode 7 of Star Wars before Disney bought it out. So, whatever, just saying. I remember playing in the backyard. We always had one of those handy cams from Sony with the mini DV tapes, some of them the VHS or whatever, and scanning that and putting it onto the computer was awesome when that first came out. And then I learned that you can make all the sound effects in an editing program. And man, when I got a hold of lightsaber sound effects, that was so awesome. And then I figured out how to click here and then click here, and then it would make this streak that looked like a lightsaber. And then I learned you can take footage and divide that into 30 images each, where I can go click, click, next image, click, click, next image. And it was 30 images per second, aka 30 frames a second on all these home videos. And click, click, plus selecting the colors. It was about 75 to 80 clicks per second of work. And I realized I loved the outcome. I loved what it could produce and that I had the patience for it. And then I learned that I could reprint this edited version back onto a mini DVE tape and then watch it on a big screen or watch it at school or wherever I was making these effects. And this got me going. I really loved and enjoyed it. I had passion, but there was no way that this was going to provide. At least I was being told that. So I got a job. I worked at Pizza Hut. It was awesome. Delivering pizzas was probably one of the best jobs that I could ever have as far as, a low-level entry job that can actually pay pretty decent and you enjoy your time doing it. But there was something more. Every time I'm delivering, I was thinking. So I got used to thinking a lot, or at least I think. Well, that got me excited, and now I'm this person that's full of ideas, and I learned to develop vision for a lot of things in that. So eventually I got married and then moved overseas, and I was a videographer overseas and got a lot of great footage and helped teach a class on how to do cinematography. And I stumbled into all this and just really found out that this is the thing that I really love doing. I love doing it and teaching it. The only way it provided was because we raised support and people knew the personality that I had and they just supported that. So me and my small family at the time moved back to Kansas City area. What area are you guys in? Leave it in the comments below. And it was time to go back and work for a job. But now I've had this taste of pretty much doing videography for a living, where it's kind of the sole focus. And I found out what I like in it the most was actually sharing the stories and the impact that it has on people. And there's a lot of bad videos out there. And so it felt like, man, I could just really get into this because I love doing it, but also it brings high impact to people. And so before I tried to get like a delivery job or something like that again, I wanted to exhaust all my resources by trying to apply to as many places as possible that are already doing this. Well, there are a few times that I got denied, and one I even walked in. They loved me, loved my personality, but guess what I was told? I was told that I was too skilled. I had too much knowledge. I had too much passion for it. They just wanted someone that was junior level because they wanted to pay junior pay and then be able to have them just as a pillar in their business to be able to edit, and only edit, stay in your lane, only edit, and like things like that. But I was the kind of person that I probably would have ended up becoming high up on the chain, maybe even running the company, or maybe they feared me because maybe they thought that I was just too many ideas, too many things. And maybe they felt that I was just going to take over or go start something else. Well, guess what? They just expedited that process because just like Thanos, I put on the glove and I said, fine, I'll do it myself. And so that's how I stumbled into starting my own business so that I could turn my passion into providing for my family and also making people impact. And so combining all those three things is what stumbled into what is called JT Visuals without the I, because there's more than meets the eye. And I never saw myself as like a business guy, as someone who's going to run a business, be an owner of a business, or anything like that. Entrepreneur, what is that? I always thought that just meant someone who builds physical buildings, like an architect or something like that. I thought that was an entrepreneur, but man, was I wrong? So I listened to some Gary Vee podcasts. I had people literally look at me eye to eye and say, hey, I could see you doing this and you should step into that. And I'm like, cool, could you be my first client? And they're like, no, I just think that you could do it, is their kind way of saying no. And as I stumbled into this, there was a lot more to happen. But now here I am. And there's been quite some time. I've been doing video for a long time, and I learned the people side, I learned the business side a lot better now. I've learned about sales, and all of this has really helped when it comes to storytelling, because there's this thing that I've learned where facts can tell, but stories sell. And ever since I learned that, I was like, man, I gotta go tell a story. Have you shared your story? What about testimonials? What about this? And any time that I would make a video involving a story, it got tons more views than if I tried to make a video that was just strictly promotional for a product or anything like that. So now here I am, and with everyone and their mom having an iPhone, now you can record anything anywhere at any time, and people are even comparing this to really good cameras. But here's the thing, it's still just a tool, and it's not going to be as good as the person behind it. So you got to learn the skills and the philosophies and the storytelling and the content within. And I see this all the time too. People are like, hey, post on social media, it's free. And then, yeah, you should do that. You should go try it, and don't give up until you've done it for a year or whatever, like don't just try for 10 days and then give up and then not try again and say it didn't work for you. Keep trying it and learn your audience, learn what they want, but ask questions, give advice. People are on social media to be social. But for me, the number one tool and the best way to be able to make better content is with storytelling. And if you can share your story like what I just did, it can bring even more into the fold of what you have going on. But I don't want to just share my story just to share it. I want to offer you something, and that's to share your story. I have a guide right here that is meant to help you with your storytelling for content, especially for brands, but this can relate to anything. It's printable, it's a PDF. You can help organize what's going to happen. And I've even used this for interviews to help guide me, even when you like pre-know answers, and then you could help do interviews to get them to be more genuine and ask questions that lead to these kind of answers. It's a really good framework, and as Zig Ziglar says, aim at nothing, hit it every time. So let's aim at something. Maybe we'll hit something. There's a storytelling formula, and we've studied it in school. It has like the denouement and like all of this stuff, the climax, the anti-climax, like whatever. Whatever you study and you get into, cool, that's great for you. But let's boil it down, let's simplify, because these kind of social media videos that are easy to do and they're free, this storytelling formula could help you make better content based on what you say and how you're recording it. It even works with how you edit as well. The first thing that we need to know about anything is who is the character and what is their desire. That is the first thing, because people are looking to be relatable and everything. Sometimes you can cut straight to a problem. It can also establish what that character's desire was. For example, I could say like, I never really fit in school. And that could be like a really good hook so people can feel relatable and they're wondering where it's going to go. And that also means that I'm a character and I just want to fit in. So it's like two birds in one stone. But really the formula is more of, you need to set up, number one, you need to establish a character that has a desire, and that is on this guide. You can set that up. What do they want? Even when doing an interview, in your head, ask, what do you want? And sometimes it's something deeper, sometimes it's something basic. You just know when it's the right one. And the second thing is the character with a desire encounters a problem. This problem could be external, it could be internal, it could be philosophical. There's some battle going on in their head. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I stay or should I go now? You know, things like that. And what's crazy is like for a good story, there's gotta be a problem. And the other most important thing is now based on that problem, what's presented to them, what decision are they gonna make? You can go even further. That's like, what happens when they don't get what they want? How do they react? So you can add so much to it, but to simplify, there's really only 3 things. And on this guide, those are the ones that are highlighted in blue. So you can go just straight over and then down, or you can happen to run into a guide or someone, a character that is added to the story who understands and, you know, and they feel empathy or they have some sort of authority figure. For me, it was Gary Vee and some other people saying, I see in you. They didn't exactly give me a plan, but they kind of sparked a plan. And then I made a decision. Okay, I'm going to make my own business because of this. And even the decision to start this YouTube channel in general. I'm on a mission. I want to see people with better content all around. And when I say better content, I don't just mean high quality 6K, 8K cameras, HDR, and all this stuff. What I'm talking about is it actually means something to people who are watching the video and we're not wasting our time. That's where AI is going to kind of mess things up, I think, you know, full of fake stories or things like that, but real stories, true stories, people being people and expressing that can really help. Now, fictional stories definitely help as well, and this can help you write fictional stories. Hey, even Jesus used fictional stories to prove a point. Storytelling has been around for so long. And sometimes it's hard to share a story because you've never been taught or you've never understood how to share a story properly or how to really even frame it. And if you can memorize this, then it makes it so much easier to tell a story. I even make up stories with my kids sometimes. And it's awesome. I just ask them questions that gets them to establish a character with a desire. And then I ask them, what's the problem with that? Or like, what stopped them from that? Like, what's the problem? And I get them to say what a potential problem is, even though they're making up a story. And then, okay, now what do they do about that? And did it work, you know? So there's another step, and it's all outlined in gray depending on which direction you want to go. And I think it's important, but it's not a pillar. You could end a story after the decision, but we need to start living in the success area a little bit more. We need to resolve and live in victory a little bit more and celebration, you know, whatever it is. Or if it's failure and it's tragic results, we shouldn't just cut away, you know, too soon. There is a balance there, and that's your own creative choice. But I would advise if it's something with success, live in that victory a little more so people can help get a taste of that success and end watching a video feeling good about something and motivated to go and do something. So that's where, hey, so of this decision that you made, was it success or was it failure? What were the results? And then that's the story guide. And I want to give this guide away to you to print, to save, to doodle on, or whatever you want to do with this PDF guide. The link is in the description below. And if you like this content or you want to see more content like this to help you make better content for brands online and through your digital media, then hit subscribe, hit like on this video, and I'll see you next time. Also, maybe consider these videos here. YouTube's kind of suggesting that you should possibly watch these. What do you think? What say you? What say you?